that we will have a successful future as it relates to Saab. The Trollhättan site is one of the key items, of course, for our business plan. Not only the manufacturing side, but the site in total will be our base for all the future development. We will concentrate all the activities to Trollhättan, whether we talk about product development, manufacturing, sales and marketing, or any other staff function. The Trollhättan site will host all the manufacturing except one car, and that is the 94X that will be built at the GM facility in Mexico, as was originally planned. And there are many various reasons why we stick to that original plan. We have also started discussions and explore opportunities to find new alliances, new partners, and it's actually rewarding during these last tough 18 months. We've had numerous of interest from various suppliers to big OEMs that want to work with Saab, and we're now exploring those to see which ones we can actually explore further to actually also get into certain agreements, something we have to come back to at a later stage. The second element of our business plan is our brand, of course, and at this time, the biggest task we have is actually to rebuild the confidence and the trust in the Saab brand. During the last 18 months, of course, with the ups and downs around Saab, there has been concerns about the future of the brand. And what we need to do is to restore that confidence and the trust in the future of Saab. The way we intend to do that is to stick to our plan and execute and demonstrate as we execute the plan. The new 95 is, of course, a first step in that process, but we need to continue to consistently execute the plan to actually prove to our customers, our dealers, suppliers, and anybody else involved in the Saab business that we're here for the long run. The brand itself is, of course, the biggest asset that we actually have. And our decision and our direction is actually to be a little bit more unique than maybe what we've been historically. And the way we express it is that we say, we're going to take the heritage into the future. It doesn't mean that we're going to build cars like the Saab 92, but I think the Saab 92 is an excellent demonstration as to how unique a brand can be and still be very competitive out in the marketplace. The brand will continue to be built on a very unique and progressive design. It will be vehicles that are sporty, but also fun to drive. And of course, the Swedish values will dominate the vehicles that we put out in the marketplace, like practicality, like safety, like performance, but responsible performance, with environmental friendly vehicles, where of course the low displacement turbocharged engines is a key asset that we have at Saab. The third element of our business plan is, of course, the products itself. We're currently in the middle of the rollout of the 93X in the US market. During 2009, this car was never introduced in North America. And as you might imagine, that is a great market for this vehicle. So we're now in the middle of the launch of this very important product for the US. The 95 sedan is, of course, next on the list, and that will be followed by model year 1193, where we have certain news that we will come back to at a later stage. In April of next year, the 94X will hit the market. This is our first entry into the premium crossover segment, the segment that is growing in importance, not only in the US, but also in the European and international market. In the middle of 2011, the 95 Sport Combi, the wagon version of the 95, will be available, and in 2012, the all-new 93 will be introduced in the marketplace. At that time, in other words, in the later part of 2012, the oldest vehicle that will be in the showroom for our dealers will be the new 95. And as you can imagine, a situation that we have never ever had before. And that gives us, of course, great confidence in our future. All of this should lead to a volume of around 120 to 125,000 units annually after 2012. That is a volume that we traditionally have reached many, many years. So with a brand new product portfolio and a broadened product portfolio, we're confident that we're going to achieve those volumes. With the introduction of new cars, we will also drive down the break-even point by dimensioning all of our operations in line with 120, 125,000 target. And that means in 2012, we'll have a break-even point around 85,000 cars, which means with 120,000, we'll have a good return on our business. The star of today is, of course, the new 9.5. And this is, as you can imagine, a key launch for Saab automobile. The previous version, as you might remember, was 13 years old and is well overdue for a replacement. You'll hear more details, of course, from our experts about the details of the car itself. But what I wanted to do was to try to put the 9.5 a little bit in perspective as how it fits into Saab and how it fits into the overall premium segment. What you see here is a volume analysis from an outside consulting company predicting the volume in the premium segment until 2020. And what you see in absolute volume is that it will significantly increase from the level that we are today. What you also see is actually 5 very distinct sub-segments in the premium arena, where of course the 9.5, the 9.4X and the 9.3 play an important role in the highest volume segment. Interesting is also to see that all the segments, all the sub-segments are predicted to grow in volume. And that is of course a key opportunity for Saab as we go into the future. Whereas we don't intend to compete in the upper segment, we definitely have a wish to compete in the lower segment. In other words, what I here call the 9.1 segment. In other words, that is a segment that we're of course targeting, and it's highest on our wish list. We don't have a car in the portfolio or in our business plan today, but rest assured that this is one of the top priorities we have to ensure that we get such a vehicle into the smaller segment in the premium arena. For the 9.5, as you see, it plays in a segment that grows in importance. Our direct competitor in that segment is, of course, the Audi A6. And when you compete with vehicles like that, you have to compete, of course, on the same basis in terms of the size of the vehicle, what type of powertrain you have, what type of comfort, convenience items you have. And we feel that the 9.5 is very competitive in that regard. But it also requires that you continue to work on reducing your CO2. And for us, that means working with small displacement engines, turbocharged, where in certain markets we could use renewable fuel and continuously increasing the electrification of the vehicles. And with that as a base, we feel that we have a very solid strategy for the 9.5 and for our competition in this segment. So if I want to summarize where we're at this point, it is of course so that with a new ownership structure, fully funded business plan, with a new set of vehicles just around the corner, an auto industry that is more open to alliances and partnerships, and with General Motors, we have a safety net in terms of agreements that ensure component supply, powertrain supply, technical licenses, etc. And with that as a base, we feel that we have a good starting point to work from. But of course, being independent means that we decide priorities, we decide what technology to use, we decide who to operate with, and that gives, of course, Saab tremendous freedom to be successful also in the future. So with that, I'd like to thank you for your attention and give you a little bit more details On the
My name is Magnus Hansen. I am responsible for global product within brand and marketing. I report to Knut Simonsson. So I hope you all enjoyed, let's say, your first taste of the new 95, and I hope you enjoyed the drive. A brilliant premium car, a brilliant Saab, a vehicle that we're very, very proud of. And I thought I'd take the liberty to share a bit regarding our thinking and the strategy, the marketing strategy, the product strategy, our ideas about who the customer is and so on. Because at the end of the day, we're not making the cars for ourselves. We're obviously making the cars for consumers out there. So I thought I'd like to share some of that strategy together with you here today. Jonke, I think, gave a good description of the brand, and the brand, Scandinavian origin, aircraft heritage, independent thinking, a lot of different history and legacy of strong innovative ideas, which is very much aligning well in the new 95. And that, of course, is the base of it, the brand. When we look at the target customer here, this is research from the New Car Buyer Survey, which is performed in Europe and in North America. And looking at it, you can draw a couple of conclusions. One is that we have a quite similar customer base as the other premium European competitors, which basically clearly indicates that Saab really is a premium brand. Quite similar. A couple of key differences though. Generally speaking, a slightly higher education level, slightly more children, which of course puts some requirements on the vehicles, and a quite homogene customer base, both in Europe and the United States. A very similar customer base, which of course is a great advantage when you are developing a brand and developing products for a brand. Very, very good. Dream customer. However, with that said, if we look at these two gentlemen here, I'm sure you recognize them. If you look at the customer in a very traditional way, these two gentlemen, of course, are identical. They're the same age, they're Americans, they work with the same things, they probably live on the same street just outside of Los Angeles, make the same amount of money, same number of ex-wives, you name it. They are identical if you look at the customer the traditional way. I think there's quite a big difference inside their heads. I doubt it looks the same inside their house. I don't think they go to the same restaurants. They probably don't have the same clocks. They probably don't like the same cars, which is why the proper way to look at the customer is this. And how we try to probe and understand our customer is based upon a model from an outside company, a research company called Sigma, that basically have done two very simple axles, created a number of customer supergroups. So on this axle, this basically is class, disposable income. So lower disposable income, and then higher and higher disposable income. And then on the upper scale is the value orientation. What's inside, how do people look upon the world? Do you look upon the world in a traditional conservative way, or in more modern ways, or what we call postmodern ways? And postmodern ways, to make it very simple, you could say, is maybe a bit of a blend. I mean, traditional conservative people like the way the world is. We don't want the world to change. If only things were like it was before, everything would be fine. Modern people follow, basically follow, but maybe not lead. These people lead developments. Roots and DNA is very important. Authenticity is very important. But on the other hand, they're comfortable that the world is changing and society is evolving, which maybe conservative people are not. So, based upon that, number of supergroups in society, such as a traditional blue-collar segment, an upper conservative elite segment, and then a very interesting segment for a brand like Saab, upper liberals. And basically, this is the target segment because of two reasons. One reason is that people who buy Saabs, generally speaking, belong to that segment. And the other reason is that the brand of Saab appeals very, very strongly to people with these type of value orientations here. And that's terrific, because it's a segment that's not dominated by anybody else. If you look at an upper conservative elite segment, it's a segment that's very dominated by a German institution. It's the homeland of a brand like Mercedes-Benz. Upper liberal is a quite open segment. Many manufacturers sell into it, but nobody dominates it. And relatively speaking, Saab is very strong in that segment here. It's a trend-setting segment. So, you know, a lot in the future, and it's a growing part of society. When you generally look at societal structures, you know, generally speaking, these are the parts of a modern society that are growing in size, where, let's say, more conservative segments are generally speaking shrinking. So, you know, one of the interesting debates we always had is, are there enough customers up there? Well, yeah, we think there is. There's about 40 million people up here. No brand dominates it completely. And it's a growing part of society where we resonate very strong. So we think it's a very, very good match we have. And that's exactly the target customer we have in mind. That, combined with the brand, is who we develop the cars for. One final factor regarding the outside perspective. Here's another research from New Car Buyer Survey. It basically shows people who bought the Saab. What did they strongly consider as the other makes? And you can clearly see a pattern. Audi was the main second choice. That was the most serious consideration before they bought the Saab. When you add up the other European makes, about 60% seriously considered one of these before buying a Saab, which really cements the fact that Saab really is a premium brand in the mind of the consumers. And Audi is the dominant force. So that's really why Joachim and ourselves always talk about Audi A6 being the prime competitor to the new 95. It's not really our opinion, it's the consumer's opinion on it. And then you can say that Audi A6 is a very good vehicle benchmark. I mean, it's a car that's good at everything. So it makes a lot of sense. The customers clearly say Audi A6 is the competitor, and it's a good car to measure yourself from the vehicle point of view. So that's what's behind that part. Good, so brand. Good idea about our brand. Very good idea about our brand, in our opinion. Clear idea about the target customer. We looked at the segmentation, where Joachim showed you the market opportunity of about 8 million premium cars in the world by 2020. 4 major segmentations, you could say. A very good situation where the premium business is very difficult to penetrate. I mean, the entry ticket really is a brand and some heritage. I think Japanese luxury shows how difficult it is to become a premium global brand. And you know, we're probably not going to have too many serious global premium competitors in the horizon. So, great business opportunity, great brand, good idea about the customer. You need a portfolio to fill that. And this is what we have in mind. We've been in the premium large segment for many years with 9.5, 9,000 offers. This, of course, is the latest offer. So we're going to continue having a 9.5 family of cars playing in the premium large segment. There's going to be a premium mid-sized offer, following the proud tradition of 900s and 9.3s and so on. And we're obviously going to continue being in that category. We take a lot of pride and basically have reintroducing and invented a segment of European premium convertibles, capable to use all year round with 4 seats. Very closely and strongly associated with Saab, so we're honestly going to stay into that part of the business. So, you know, that really is the core Saab portfolio. However, times change, business change, and we need to expand outside of the core of the Saab brand. And we're going to do that in 2 directions. One, with a crossover offer. A 94X coming out next year is going to be the first global crossover offer. And below the 9.3, we do have to expand, no doubt about it. The brand needs to, the business needs to, and we will expand. And as Joachim alluded to, that's obviously very high on the priority list and something that we will commit to do as quickly as we can. So, that is basically the portfolio that we have in mind, a vision portfolio, which very well covers the needs of the brand, meeting the business opportunity, and basically covers all of the life stages of the target customer. When they're single, in the couple stage, family stage, children moving out, a primary car, a secondary car maybe, as a convertible might be for your weekend and so on. And that's how we see, you know, an adequate, good, strong portfolio for a niche-orientated premium brand. We're not there though, and we intend to get there in steps.
In just a few minutes, you will be out on the roads, driving our completely new Saab 95. I would just like to take the opportunity to give you a few highlights about what you will see and feel and experience in the cars, and also what you will experience with us in the coming 24 hours. This car, our new 95, is the most advanced Saab we have ever built. And I hope you will discover that the minute you sit in the car and start to drive. This is a unique character, and it also has a unique design compared to the other competitors in this segment. You will see that it has touches from old Saabs in the history, from the 99, the 900, 9000, etc., which makes it quite unique. During the next 24 hours, we will let you drive the new Saab 95 as much as possible. Today you will drive up to Trollhättan on public roads. We have chosen a road with minimal highways and rather opted for smaller roads with plenty of bends. And this is of course for you to be able to experience the handling and performance of our new car at its best conditions. You will feel how it really hugs the road. This is a really good car to drive. Tomorrow you will be also having the opportunity to be out on the test track. That's why we wanted you to sign this little legal paper, where you can put the car to its test in the right conditions, and you can drive a little bit more aggressive than you can out on the public roads. And altogether we hope to provide you the test drive out of the ordinary, and I hope you will agree with me when I meet you tonight at dinner time. When you slip into the cockpit of the new Saab 95, you will immediately recognize this is a Saab. It's built around the driver. You find this typical Saab curved fascia of the dashboard, the green illumination, quite unique in this segment, the easy to reach controls. Of course, we have the amazing and renowned Saab seats with a lot of comfort and maximum support for your back. And that will be very good for you because we'll drive 3 hours up to Trollhättan later today. So that will be no problem for your backs. Of course, there is a plenty of space and comfort for the rear seat passengers as well. But this is truly a driver's car. And why do I say that? Yeah, we have features like the pilot head-up display. You have that on all the cars you will test drive. This is an aircraft-inspired system.
Oh, Santa Maria! What? Oh.
Tapping on your left here, one of the main areas of storage within the front seat. The dock entry is this part of the factory. And then I got a hand by the strict order of the factory. And they're done for 10 minutes a week. That's fine. Operated does not have to work over his shoulders and head. And also trained in an extremely efficient environment to work in. The operational
Questi giapponesi vuol dire le video per la direttità.
isolation is optimized. So great, very simple.
Start stop engine, Tusma. Samo izvini, imam Gdje mi idemo sad jebote? Ajmo, imamo 80 km. Sad je 110.
Fast det vill inte säga.